This is the Songbird cooking. Good morning, everyone. Songbird reborn. I slept really, really well. It was weird. I went to sleep early last night and early the night before. Not even on purpose. I usually nocturnal. So anyhow, as you know, there's no stove in here, and I use lots of little gadgets that I bought for cooking. This morning I made a smoothie with strawberries, pineapples, blackberries, blueberries, papaya. I think I said papaya, whatever. Peter pepper. Anyhow, it was a nice, good bag of fruit, and it was all in fat chunks. And I don't like frozen stuff, but that big bag was in my freezer for emergencies, like now, because I didn't have any fresh fruits in the fridge. And as you know, if you've been following, that my big fridge is not even 4 years old good. It doesn't keep food fresh anymore since the girl that lived upstairs from me kept turning on the water and just having it raining in here. Not a little drip, the whole ceiling. If you've been following, I don't have really long time to spend on that. If you've been following, I actually made videotape while it was literally raining in my apartment, full ceiling. Alright, so past that, I had bought bags of fruit mixed just in case, not little chunks. The bags with the really big giant chunks, because then I have a chance of getting more fresh fruit inside of the fat pieces. You know, because the smaller pieces, they're just going to be freezer burnt, and there's not only no flavor, but no nutrition at all. So, anyhow, that's what I did just now. That's what I'm drinking. And I put some in my orange juice jug. Put some in my orange juice. I'm sure you can't see it right now. So I put some in my orange juice jug right here. And just half full, so that way, it was really thick, like a milkshake, a real milkshake. You know, I had a McDonald's milkshake and a Burger King milkshake in the last few months, and they were really, really watery and disgusting. Now this added actual water to it, because when I made my shake and I blended it four times, you know, I let it blend, and when it shuts down on high, and I turn it on again, and 4 times. Anyhow, it was so thick, it wouldn't flow at all. And this is still thick, but I can drink it now, and it tastes more delicious and less concentrated, and it can make me drink it faster. Not like I'm literally just like drinking some thick, you know, like the difference between soup and stew. You understand? So yeah. So somebody's probably saying, well, why was she complaining about the water? You see, you can see the seeds. Those are all the seeds from the fruit. Look at that. I'm drinking those seeds. You know, they're gonna suck them right on down. No, I did not add any sugar this time. If I had sugar, I probably would have put like maybe I say a tablespoon of sugar, but I didn't have any sugar, so it's this is so good, it's ridiculous. Okay, and then I was looking at something I'm trying to look at, because see, like if you have lupus or you have anything that disrupts your appetite. You know, I don't like to just be smoking weed all the time for an appetite. And first of all, even if I did take one puff of weed, because first of all, my lungs ain't going to be taking all that smoking. So I can only do one puff without choking to death as it is. Each time I take one little puff and I'm just choking and bent over and trying not to pass out. Not a big, just a little bit. You can't even see the smoke in the air. But that's not the point. But even with that, it doesn't give me an appetite unless I'm watching cooking shows. I'm not trying to get up and cook when my stomach feels sick, you know. This is not a sad story. This is education, okay? So, you know, a lot of people, you know, they don't think about, well, maybe I should just watch some cooking shows because they want to watch something else. Of course, understandable. You want to watch something interesting? Well, to me, cooking is always interesting. I mean, for me, cooking is more interesting than every movie and everything except the space educational documentaries and medical, too. Okay? Motivation is up there. That's mostly because I'm trying to catch up. We already know that story. Okay. So, anyhow, I come across this here, and which I never thought of it, well, because I didn't go to school with oxtails. My mother didn't cook that. Okay, I don't know what she cooked when my sister Samara was born, because my sister Samara is 20 years younger than me. Exactly 20 years. 19. It doesn't matter, because she was born in March, and I'm born in November. So, she was born in March, and then in November I turned 20 years old. It doesn't matter. The point is, well, actually, it does matter. What matters, it doesn't matter about the time and the date and to the date of the moment that, you know, the space between us. But, of course, she would know my mother in a different way because I was already moved out. And, of course, even my sister, Toincinita McNeil, she wouldn't know my mother in the same way that I know my mother as far as cooking. I'm only talking about cooking, okay? So, when I went to school, and even after that, I can really almost testify that even though I didn't live there and I wasn't there every week and every day, like a lot of people that I've seen, there's a lot of dust in the heaters in here. But it come from the basement. But either way, what you cook when you're 15, you're not cooking. You might cook it different. It's not going to be the same when you're 25 and you're 35, 55, 75 years old. My mother's not 75 yet. But I mean, you know, it's not going to be the same because you're learning things over the years, you know. You're modifying the techniques you already have. And you're modifying recipes you already have, improving. Doesn't even necessarily mean it's improved. Sometimes it's improved and sometimes it's just modified. And, you know, I have like 5 different potato salad recipes. I mean, like, I'm not going to just sit there. That's just me. I'm not just going to sit there and just use the same dressing recipe, stuffing. I'd make dressing, stuffing. I mean, you know, we don't have to argue about the name because I do both. One has more juice, one has one thicker. I mean, it's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm saying this because I had a friend years ago, and different people are saying, it's not stuffing, it's dressing. Well, maybe you're making dressing and I'm making stuffing. Stuffing is thick enough that you need to get the knife and cut it when it's done. You need to cut it with a knife and serve it. Not that it's brick. No, it's not a brick, but it held together. It holds itself together like meatloaf. Meatloaf's not a brick, but it's held together. Bread is not a brick. It's held together. You know, I make stuffing mostly. You might find some dressing somewhere on the other side of, you know, if I make a big piece of meat. But anyhow, as far as stuffing, dressing, and stuff like that, back to the subject, is that I came across this program, and this lady is saying that some kids didn't want nobody to know what they were eating at school because of what they had to bring to school for lunch. And and then the word leftovers is over there. So I'm like, well, so what's the big deal about leftovers? I mean, I don't understand what's the problem. But she said, I mean, it was only on for like 3 minutes, and she says, nobody wants to, I'll have to play it because, I'm not doing that word for word game. Some people play word for word game. That's not what she said, whatever. I'm going to sum it up what I heard. Is that what my understanding is that some kids were afraid to show what they were having at lunch because if they had chitlins from last night's dinner, which I never have, because my mother didn't cook that at all. Not that she was against it. She never spoke hate against it. Let's not get that twisted. That's not what I'm saying. She didn't bring that home. I heard of it. I saw what it was when I was 5, it was 4, when we were in Florida, me and my mom, and we went to my stepfather's brother's house, and a whole bunch of people were there like family do. They put that they killed that thing, they killed it. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of blood. I just heard them screaming. They took him in a little shed in the back, and I heard them screaming, and they brought that meat out, and they cut him open from the side, and they were cleaning him, and it was like 5 men that were doing it all together. Like they did me in the hospital. They line up on both sides of you, one on the bottom, one, some on the sides, some on 3 on this side, and that's what they did with the pig. There was a lot of kids there. I wasn't like running off with those kids. That was my first day there. And I stood right next to my mother, and like she could never get rid of me. And that's good. But anyway, they cut that open. My mother was quiet, so I followed her lead, and I was quiet. Some women were talking, mostly men were talking and laughing, and they cut that pig up in so many different pieces, and they were saying I just was listening about what parts they were going to do and how they were going to wrap this and put it away and what they were going to put in the freezer, blah, blah, blah. And so that's how I knew what all the parts were, because they separated all the parts so they could wrap them for the freezer or whatever, and what they were going to cook that day. They also had open pit, like fire in the ground. I remember they had a fire in the ground, a big round hole, and it was full of fire. It was coming up out of there, but I liked, you could feel the heat from it. Of course, none of the kids are going to run over there, you know what I mean? And so they had the big fire pit. I was quiet and stood where my mom, I just grabbed her arm, or I would grab her leg, because I was real short, but still short, small. I remember I used to just hold her knees a lot. And she's gonna move. She's gonna move with me around. What y'all doing over there? All right, kitty. What you doing? Which one? What are you doing? You better not start fighting or none of that. You better be getting a mousy, if anything, because you better not let them mousy try to get my food. I ain't playing. I ain't seen a mouses since them kitty cats been here. What are you doing? Oh, you just playing with that thing? What are you doing? Oh, you just. Yeah. What are you doing? You playing around? Look at all that light you got in your eyes. Shit, I thought something was wrong. No cussing. Okay, so anyhow, every time I start talking, they get jealous and they start doing stuff. So I can get my attention. They can get my attention. All right, just chill. All right. All righty. I'm gonna make sure you get attention. So I was noticing on here, like it says oxtails. Some girl brought oxtails, greens, a sandwich made out of collard greens, stuff like that. My mom, she made cabbage. She always made cabbage. I didn't have any complaints. Yeah, some of my friends in Alabama, mamas had greens, and the cousins, whatever. Not all the time, but All right, you found got my soda can. So anyhow, I just really never thought about this. At my age, it doesn't matter how old you are. What matters is that every day you should be learning something. Even one thing, I didn't look for it to learn it. I shouldn't have said the word should, but what I really mean is that you can learn something every day, even on accident. It looks like that's what keeps happening to me. I'm not even looking for this. Oh, yeah. So, see, oxtail sandwiches, green sandwiches, leftovers, cornbread sandwiches. Wow, cornbread sandwiches? Oh, no. And, bread on bread. That's okay, my kids was poor. I'm gonna tell you right now. They didn't have those kids was lucky. But she's saying that they didn't want nobody to see what they were eating for lunch because that would tell how much money your parents make. That tells what time your mama gets up. That tells what time if you have a father or not, if they think you have a father, or if they think your mama left and you only have a father. And, they could tell because the little girl hair ain't right. They could tell that she only has a father and no mother, or, all kind of stuff. That people don't pay attention to those kind of things anymore. Excuse me. And those who don't like smacking, like, excuse me, but please don't leave any nasty little remarks like, I don't like all that smacking. Well, by the first time I did this sucking on my lips, you should just change the channel, All right. But I understand. I remember my sister used to do it, and I used to just get so upset. But I was still sitting there while she was eating. But that's a different subject. But it's morning time. Every time I make a short film, and then they tell me that my films are not long enough. The professionals. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about the dashboard, the professionals, the analytic people. Analytics, Mm-hmm. I need some more of that. The pineapple is stronger. I love pineapple. The best. So when I saw this, I was really I was interested. It caught my attention. First of all, I put it here because not to see who couldn't go to school, but who couldn't, whatever. I said it wrong. I'm just too interested in my drink right now. But I'm sure y'all know what I'm saying.
Gourmet restaurant.
So it says school lunches. The school lunches, black kids had to hide. Now they're gourmet. Well, isn't that something? They had to hide. I didn't know. Like I said, that's what got me, because I'm like, what are they eating at? They have to hide. Why would they have to hide it? Well, that definitely wouldn't make sense to me in Alabama. When I was in first grade, I forced my mother to come to school with me. And I said forced because she wasn't going to get no peace. And I wouldn't care what happened and how mad she got or if she got frustrated. It wasn't going to matter because I wasn't going to stop until I got what I wanted. And she said I was born like that. So she just recently told me that, like, this year 2025 is ending, but she told me I was born that way from the first moment. I won't stop it until I get what I need. You can't get what you want. As long as you're trying to block me from what I need. You can't get what you want. As long as you're trying to block me from what I need. You can get what you want. As long as you're trying to block me from what I need. You can get what you want. As long as you're trying to block me from what I need. You can get what you want. As long as you're trying to block me from what I need. Anyway, I'm just clowning right now. This is good. You gotta get up. You gotta have a good morning. My God. All right, what's that? What's that I smell? What is that? You under? What you doing down there? What are you doing? I see you down there. I see you. I see you under the bed. What you doing over there? You got some smell. I smell you. What are you doing, Caesar? Caesar. Don't try to play. Don't try to get away, Caesar. I see you. Caesar, don't ignore me. I smell you. I smell you, Caesar. I smell you. You just keep that in your inside of you, that little scent you pushing out. Thank you very much. They don't have to spray. Just come straight through his pores. When you feel a certain way. You can get what you want. As long as you're trying to block me from what I need. You can get what you want. Hey, as long as you're trying to block me from what I need. Stop clowning. Okay, so it's kind of dark. It's getting. I gotta go to the store. I want some of these chitlins. I'm gonna get some. No, I don't eat them all the time. I ain't ate them for years and years. But you know what? After watching this cooking show right here, right, like about 20 cooking shows, or I don't know how many black, African, and Indian, indigenous people all mixed up together, stuff they put together. They learned together back in the slave days, recipes and stuff I've been watching for 2 or 3 days. And I'll tell you right now, today I'm going to go get some pre-cleaned hog mugs and some pre-cleaned chitlins. And I want the ones that's made by Parks. I don't want no cheap brand. I don't want no name. I mean, if I'm going to go down that way, I don't want none of that name brand. I want the whole name brand. I mean, I don't want nothing that ain't got no name on it. And I don't even care about names. But I do when it comes to my food, though. I don't care about names when it comes to clothes and none of that. I don't care. But when it comes to my food, I'm not playing no games. I don't play no game. I don't want no cheap brands. You keep that. You keep it. I don't want it. I'd rather buy something that costs a lot of money. Cut up real small, stretch it, or do something. I'm gonna stretch it because I don't want no meat products, and I don't want none of those. I don't want no 50-cent hot dog packing hot. I don't want it. I don't want none of it. I don't want that kind. I don't want it. Then next thing you know, you be talking about my legs hurt. I got leg cramps. I got cramps. And you got cramps. You ate that stuff. You don't even know what that was. You don't know what it was. You don't even know what it was. You ain't gonna watch that show. You ain't gonna watch that show. How are hot dogs made? You ain't watching it. You're just too busy watching all your other good stuff. And I know how it feels, but then it always brings me back to this one. Because I just like to know stuff too much. That's probably why. I just always gotta know. Okay? Now, ever since I seen my video, what I used to be like before, my friend, all the years after the accident, I just seen her making pictures, and that's what I was supposed to do. That's what God wanted me to do. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about right now, though. And it was a lot of time. That was a long time. You know what it feels like since I seen myself, what I used to look like. You can't unsee it. You know how they say it. See, I'm getting a little bit smart. They say, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's how it is. And now that's what it means. Don't eat that apple. Don't do it. Just don't touch that apple. Don't bite it. There's a whole bunch of apples I didn't bite yet. But that one, I shouldn't have bit it, because as soon as I seen it, and I called my father and I said, why God made me come back like this? I don't appreciate it. Oh my God, he screamed at me. He sounded like that cartoon. The cartoon said, whatever, I can't do it. Because I just, anyway, y'all remember that cartoon. Ain't no young people, they never seen that. They don't know what they talking about. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of old people don't know what they talking about either. And then when I seen that, Oh my God, and I called my friend and I told her, one of them that's still living, I said, I seen myself on the video. You didn't tell me I only was the one. You didn't tell me. She said, oh yeah, you used to read the encyclopedias just for the fun of it. Oh yeah, you kept buying all those books all the time just for fun. You was reading books and just reading books and reading books all the time for fun. And I said, well, shoot. Well, I need to get back on that one. Because I was just sitting here making pictures all the time. It was like I was compelled and I was being forced from inside of me. But I liked it. I liked it. It didn't feel like the kind of force you don't like. It was the kind of force that I like. Something you can't forget. You can't stop doing it. Like I was addicted. You know, it was the creator that what he brought me back for. And once I seen that video and I seen how I used to be, how smart I was, oh my God, it was like eating that apple. And that's what I understand. All those years, all that going to church, and I was like, what is the big deal about some apple? And I don't, yeah, they can explain it forever, but you really got to feel it to understand. I don't care if you know it from backwards and forward and every word completely. That ain't the same as feeling it. That ain't the same as experiencing it. And I literally experienced it. I literally came back from dead, from my brain not breathing and I was so innocent. I'm talking innocent in a big body. That's what I'm talking about. Not being born and being small and with an innocent. I'm talking about being all grown up with coming back like a baby and just only remembering, yeah, ain't I supposed to do this? Just the last few things that you knew you were supposed to do that you didn't finish. It's all that my brain does. You didn't finish. You didn't got to do this. You didn't do this because almost didn't get to do it because he brought you back to do it. And that's all you can think about. You know, it's not, oh, it already happened and it's over. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I mean, maybe if you don't have a soul, it might work that way. Because then, you know, it's the soul that's making you feel compelled. I mean, if you ain't got no soul, there ain't no magnet. So for nothing to be pulling on. So, I mean, I'm not judging. I'm just saying if you ever died and came back, and then even if you're alive and whatever, I don't know. Because now I'm not God. And, you know, if you got a soul, then you understand. If you don't, then you'll be like, you're going to sit here right now and be like, I don't know what she's talking about. She must be crazy or drunk or something. You know, because that's what the enemy's going to tell you, because you don't have a soul. So if you do have a soul right now, even if you don't understand every single word I'm saying, not as in just a vocabulary and the definition, but then that means that your soul is saying, I know exactly what she's saying. You know, I know exactly what she means, even though she's not saying all the words, because everybody say all different words that have same meanings. I was watching a recipe last night because I wanted to see, since my name Danice is ancient Hebrew, not new Hebrew. It's like inserted into Hebrew, none of that. The real Hebrew. And that's what my name is. It means God is the judge. and that's what it is. That fits me well. So I wanted to see what did they eat then, because my mother said God gave her my name and the spelling of my name. She was 14. She ain't got to lie. Nobody got to make that up. And at 14, who would know about a name from ancient Hebrew? And what 14-year-old would want to find out about an ancient Hebrew? None that I know. I don't even know many grown people that even want to get out of here. But anyway, so that's why I believe it. I believe it because she said it, and I believe it and it just makes too much sense. Anyhow, so I wanted to know, what do they eat? I really didn't have an appetite last night. And then I got really starving after I started watching the recipes. You know, wanted to know what did the ancient Hebrews eat? First Hebrew. Not, you know, then the recipes, they were showing how they found some recipes from, actually it was something that is written in stone that my father had told me about years and years ago, decades, about how tall the guy is that's sitting down, and the people that are standing up, they're not even as tall as him, and he's sitting down. You know, the Anik, whatever, they came here, the ones that are back here now. Right, look at that, I heard it. I'm clairvoyant. Somebody's like, she's drunk again. Because what that is that your brain cannot accept it. And that's what all that means. And all that does is translate to fear to me. When people leave bad comments like that, to me, it just translates to fear. But please keep your fear to yourself and, pray about it. Don't direct it to me. Please, thank you. If you're going shock over something I've said that your brain can accept, that you would think that it's foolish. You're saying that it's foolish, but it really translates to fear. And I understand that. I understand it well. I'm clairvoyant. So I don't understand why anybody would have to be worried about what they're eating, but according to this, but like I said, my mom didn't cook ham hocks. She didn't cook chitlins. She did not cook greens. She cooked cabbage. My mother cooked cornbread. She did not cook it on top of the stove. She did learn how to make crackling cornbread from my stepfather. I know everything. Me and my mother grew up together. And then my sister Samara's father taught her how to cook Jamaican food. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. Yummy, yummy, yummy. It says no sugar added. It doesn't say low sugar. It doesn't say zero sugar. Because see, zero and low, that means what? That means it's going to be artificial sugar added. And what does that mean? That means brain damage, and it also causes muscle damage. They wrote it down, but hey, that's on people. They still eat it. When you go in the WIC office, it's everywhere. There's signs everywhere. And when they first came out with all that NutraSweet, I remember I was in my 20s. There were signs everywhere. And then people started just tearing them down because they didn't care. And then the people that tore them down, their kids were born, and they don't know nothing about it. It's very sad. It really is, And it's very sad. And you see fat people talking about, I want a diet soda. What? That diet soda gonna make you fatter, and it causes problems. It causes all kind of health problems. Just get it. Say no sugar, not zero, not low. Just if it's gonna it just gets tiring. I mean, like I keep saying about slowness, but then I look around since I ate the apple, so to speak, and watched the video of who I used to be. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I thought I was slow, but maybe I'm just like a little. No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But anyway, my mother, she didn't cook none of that stuff right there. She didn't. Even now she does make greens, and mostly she still makes cabbage. And I like her cabbage. It was good. That cabbage and bacon is slamming. And they were showing some kids on here that were eating fried cabbage. Now there's boiled cabbage, there's fried cabbage, there's steamed cabbage. Personally, my favorite is steamed. A little bit of crunch left over on it, and a little salt, just a little bit. Just a little bit, maybe just a little bit of butter. And that's just my own personal thing that nobody made for me. I made that, in the pan in a hurry to eat me some cabbage. But my mom, when she makes fried cabbage, and I do it this way too, but it never tastes as good as hers. I just can't. Something missing. I don't know what it is, but I know it's timing because it's science, And even 1, 3, 10 seconds off can make the difference in the flavor. That is the truth. 1 minute off can make 1 minute off or 1 minute on extra makes a way big difference in the flavoring. My mother's specialty, oh my God, it was the best. But I added onions to mine. I don't know if she does that now. But to when you simmer the bacon on top, you just simmer it and just let it do its thing. You can't put it on high because you want all the grease to come out of it. So that, and then what's left is not real hard and crunchy, but it's not soft. It's in between, like chewy, kind of like jerky, but softer than jerky, and not hard as jerky, chewy. And I can do it perfect. And then take it out, because that way there's no little burnt little pieces of bacon. And then you put that cabbage in there after you wash it and chop it really small. My daughter chopped it extra small. My mom, she chops it big, and I like it that way. Me, I might chop it like squares, like fat squares. I like some big pieces too that are not torn apart, because 100% I just rinse in between the leaves, because my grandma taught me that sometimes she showed me there was a little worm down in between the leaves, but there was no holes in that cabbage or nothing, but she showed me one big leaf at a time. That was easier to see, and then chop them and stuff, whatever. My father's mother showed me that. Anyway, so I like mine like that. And then, my mother, she likes to use that paprika. And I've seen on a lot of these shows, a lot of paprika users. And the mustard seed, which I've never been buying mustard seed. But it's a lot of, it says, indigenous people introduced to the West Africans, and then the West Africans had some they were putting stuff, trading recipes and putting them together and modifying them together like that. Most of the recipes I was watching in the last 3 days. I thought this was going to be like somebody was doing something wrong to their kids, and they corrected it or something good, But it's really sad that they have to hide what you're eating, because you don't want your school lunch teacher to be laughing with the other school lunch teacher and saying, well, those kids are poor because they're eating hog mugs today and green sandwich, which was more healthier, that green sandwich anyway, than whatever else, some fish stick sandwich. I mean, what? Well, I was sitting there looking at that plate of greens right there on the table, and that's what made me remember that in first grade, I made my mother come to school with me. And I made her, and I mean it that way. And I just she wasn't gonna have any peace. And it didn't matter. Yes, she was grown, but there was gonna be no peace, none. Not none. So she came and she sat in that little chair next to me. She sat in that chair, and she sat at that short little table. Not that she's big anyway. She's only 5 foot. She was only she was still growing then too. She probably like 4'9" then. But still, I noticed when she sat next to me at the small kid, because it was short for us. Kids for the first grade in the lunchroom. The table they had us, it was long, but it was short. My mother sat there and she fit, but she was bigger than everybody. So I said to myself, now you shouldn't have made your mother come sit here with you like this. And she did it though. She really did that, and I said, wow, you made her come sit with you. But it's okay. And they gave my mom a plate with greens, sweet potatoes, fried chicken. That's what we had at the Tuskegee, Alabama school. So wasn't no kids ashamed to be bringing none of that to school in Tuskegee. My mother wasn't cooking it, but for all the kids that did, I didn't even notice because they were serving that at school. I don't know where they were doing this, what they doing on here. They must be up north, or I don't know where they was. I know she ain't saying that for Tuskegee, Alabama. That's all I know, because in That's what they were serving us at the school in Tuskegee, Alabama. All that stuff that she's saying these kids are ashamed of. Yeah, my mama sat right next to me while I had lunch. I think she came to school with me for breakfast and lunch for about maybe the whole first grade almost, because I wasn't having it. And she did it. And she did that. She did that because, while she was trying to go out to school, I was holding on. I had my legs wrapped around her legs and my arms wrapped around her leg. I mean, she wasn't going to be walking anywhere while I was wrapped. I had my legs and my arms wrapped around her. How was she going to walk like that? She tried to get me off of her, and I was like an octopus, so she had to come on over there and sit on down. She tried to pull me off her. I was like, I'll never forget it. I never forget it. I never forget it. I know she never forget it. I didn't have no sister and brothers. I don't know. I wasn't going to be over there by myself. I wasn't doing it. I wasn't going to do it. Yeah, she did that. Yeah, she had to do that because you ain't going nowhere. And you try to don't try to leave when I turn around. Yeah, I was one of those. I'm going to chase you all the way back to the door, grab you. You ain't going, you ain't getting away. Oh, no. Yeah, I was one of those. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, these kids ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. And now, if they were there, I don't know who was judging who. Like I said, that couldn't have been in Tuskegee, Alabama. I'm just going to leave it at that. Oh, peace, love, and light, and respect.